In the back of my mind, I thought, Nihilism, 10 years, it's coming up. I wonder if that'll be something. I mean, I've been out of the band since 2008, but I thought, if they did a show, I'd definitely think about it.
I just think it's crazy how much people care about us as a band and the album. Just the fact that people are coming from all over the country and driving, flying, any way they can to get to Portland to see us blows my mind. It really does.
We were aware of the 10-year anniversary of the album. The plan originally was, well, let's talk to the label about a re-release and that sort of thing. And those talks were going well. Patrick's and mine tendency is to go overboard too fast, and then it becomes completely untenable and you end up doing nothing at all.
And we kept kicking around different ideas, and the problem with Showbread is that it's way too ambitious for its own good. We can't do anything easily. It's got to have the biggest lights, and it's got to have the biggest sound, and it's got to do this and this and this.
We just kept laughing and being like, let's be honest, we're not going to do anything at all. The 10-year anniversary LP will come out, and that'll be the end of that. And then that night, Abby was like, why wouldn't you guys just try to do one show?
One show in Portland, get the guys to fly out, and it might be fun. And then we started kicking around that idea, and it started making a lot of sense.
The phone calls that I made to first round them up were so entertaining and hilarious. Like, I think no one hesitated in saying, like, yeah, I'll do that. If we do it, I'll do it. A couple of guys had questions about how we'd make it work, but they were all into the idea immediately.
Hola!
Hey.
Hi!
So funny, like, I text John out of nowhere. It'd been months since we'd spoken, and said, like, hey man, I'm trying to get everybody together to play a reunion show for the 10th anniversary of Nihilism, will you come? And his response was, well, I'm fat and old and my fingers don't work anymore and I don't even remember how to play a keyboard, but sure, I'll come.
Dude, I practiced so much to get ready for this show. I practiced for weeks because I didn't remember anything. I remember part of Mouth Like a Magazine and that was it. So I had to relearn all the songs.
We hadn't played all together since like 2006 for recording, because we borrowed Marvin to record Age of Reptiles.
It's kind of crazy that it's been that long ago. Like, it honestly sometimes doesn't even feel like it's that long ago, like, and it's always good to see everybody like all together. Like Marvin, I hadn't seen him probably like 7 years.
I've by far been like the most like non-existent person since I left the band.
You live in a van with guys for 10 months a year, and you're like best friends, but there's also tension. And I was telling Josh just earlier, it's kind of surreal and weird, but it also feels like it was such a large chunk of my life, and I think all of our lives, that it doesn't really feel different. I mean, it was almost like 5 in the morning where I'm from in Georgia. I mean, I'm just dead tired, but can't stop talking because you're just reminiscing and laughing and having a good time.
We used to have a sweet, we had like a GameCube and stuff set up for a long time. I would just leave stuff in here, and then we'd go on tour again, and I would just randomly find stuff down there. Somebody left like a peanut butter sandwich down there one time too. That was pretty nasty. Got an 18 passenger van, no seats to sit in. Bunch of cords that don't work. This pedal looks like somebody put a freaking hand grenade in it. Well, Showbread's got the best luck in the world, so they've spent like the last couple months planning all this, and now like none of it is falling into place, like not even close. And that's why we came all the way out here through all this traffic to pick up stage stuff, and we got none of it. We didn't get the trailer we were supposed to get, the dude that's supposed to be doing sound is like, I don't know what's going on. I definitely don't know what's going on, other than Showbread is on typical course for with how lucky they are with things. Maybe maybe we'll get lucky and like Ivory and JG and all of them will actually show up at the airport, but I'm not gonna cross my fingers.
We planned the thing months out. Talking to those guys leading up to it was so hilarious. John was telling me he was having stress nightmares that he got booed off stage. He thought his hair was falling out from how worried he was about playing, and other guys like Marvin was terrifying me because he's like, oh, I haven't really been in practice with drums in years. And I said, do you have something you can practice on? He's like, not really. And then I would call him and be like, hey man, are you rehearsing? He's like, I'm kind of playing on my legs. I was like, oh Lord, man, if this guy can't play it, we're gonna be so awful.
I don't know if he's even played in a band in like 10 years, give or take. So the concern was if Marvin could still play drums. That was the big concern.
At the time of talking about it on the phone, I was like, yeah, that'll be easy.
Might as well.
He showed up and he could still play drums, so it worked. It was an emotional roller coaster leading up to getting everyone in the same room again.
Oh, we're trying to get the stage for the show. And these pieces are ginormously heavy. So I'm keeping guard until these strong men come back.
I'm too out of shape for this.
Oh, here comes help now. We're going to get lights. Lights for the show that we'll have to take back Saturday when it's over. DIY, man, DIY. Punk rock.
This has been in the attic for 6 years, and I haven't even taken it down or played it. I don't know if we can fix it. We're gonna try. And the only thing holding together is tape.
You put like 7 rolls of tape on us.
It's expensive.
It seems like we're trading off problems. Like first, the buttons up here at the top wouldn't work, and so it was splitting the octave in half. So we could use like the top octave, but we couldn't use the bottom octave. So we took it apart and attached the ribbon, and so now the octaves are working, but his modulation button isn't. So I'm gonna take it back apart and undo more stuff. It's gonna happen where I'm gonna take it apart and then the whole guitar is gonna explode. John's just my brother, and you know, I always try to help him out and stuff whenever they need it. I'm just, you know, I know the band, of course, obviously, but I never did anything with them. John's my brother, like I said, and anytime he needs something, I'm gonna be there and help him out.
So yeah, all the keys work now, but modulation and pitch does not, but at least the keys work. We can fake it, at least a little bit. Still a little hazy, even though I've been practicing forever. It's just, actually, I was very surprised at how well we played through the set. I haven't been with the band in 7, so surprising how well we went through everything.
But through God's Son, Lord Jesus Christ. I cannot do this.
behind, but at least they're not totally sabotaged.
I don't know. Getting ice cream, that's all I know.
Bet you won't jaywalk in front of that cop.
Bet you I will.
I do a sound check, and Patrick decided he would try to run down here and get ice cream before it was his turn, and he made it all the way down here just in time to turn around and have to run all the way back. He'll still get ice cream, but he's gonna have to do double time running.
My brother Patrick and I wanted to start a band from youth on. My dad used to play Queen and AC/DC records for us, and we're like, we should have a rock band. In high school, I was trying to get a kind of goth industrial band going, and Patrick wanted to get a praise and worship band going because he just wanted to have something that we could play in church.
A friend of mine and I said, let's start a band, or I said, we should start a band. And then we asked Josh if he'd play drums, and he said no. And then I said, well, we already have a show, and he said, okay.
And the long and short of it is, we both just kind of said, let's try to somewhat combine ideas, because then we'll at least have a band to play in.
And it was just going to be a church band. We were just going to play Third Day songs because that's all we thought we could ever aspire to, because we didn't know how to play instruments. We played all of those hits of the Third Day 90s DC Talk kind of thing. Marvin, none of us really knew Marvin. It's like, I know a guy who plays drums, and so we got him to come play drums. And he didn't really play drums. He had like cans or something set up, but
Like, my parents were pretty protective about me, like, hanging out with certain people. Of course, like, once you got to know them, it was fine. But just the initial, like, hey, Mom, they asked me to be in their band. She's like, that's not gonna happen.
no, I mean, we all learned to play instruments together. Me and Josh and Marvin and Ivory specifically learned how to be in a band together.
We were just covering like contemporary Christian artists and stuff like that, and I was like, well, I know that Jesus Freak song, let's do that. And so like, and that's how I joined, and then it kind of evolved to like writing our own songs.
We were going to punk shows, we were going to MXPX shows and stuff, so that's kind of where the writing went, and then new people came in, and then what we have now formed pretty much from that idea.
A gentleman that was playing in the band named Travis Reiner in the very beginning, it was he, Patrick, and I. He was looking through a glossary in his youth group Bible, and he was like, oh, look at this. This is like showbread. I think, you know, the consecrated bread is how it usually gets translated in the NIV, but it was some kind of holy bread that was kept in a temple. It was just a really bad youth group name for a band. We just kept calling it showbread the whole time. Probably should have been 5 different things, but here we are, I don't know, it's almost 17 years later.
We met in varying levels of guys knowing each other through other bands or guys going to church together, and somehow it just came together.
We got Mike and Matt from just playing local bands in the area when other people would come and go, and We actually started touring by ourselves with demos and little things we were doing ourselves. And then we got John to come play keyboards because we wanted to have more of those things.
I was friends with Matt, and he joined the band, and then he said they wanted a keyboard player, and I played a little piano when I was a kid. So I was like, I probably can play anything that needs to be played. They said, all right, well, you want to be a part of the band, you got to dye your hair. So I had to freaking dye my hair black. It was miserable.
And that was the core for a long time. We went on our first tours that way, and when we recorded an indie album called Life Kisses and Other Wasted Efforts with that lineup. All go home, work, save up a bunch of money so that we could go on tour.
Touring just on your own and finding ways to make demos and then literally like old school burning them at home on the drive, you know? Growing up, we'd always listen to Tooth and Nail bands, so basically the only, I guess, aspiration we really had was to be like, we gotta be on Tooth and Nail. Like that's the apex of like being in a band. You get on Tooth and Nail, like you made it.
We played a local show in Savannah one time, and I was driving home from the show, and I get a phone call from Steven from Anne Berlin.
Steven Christian, who's the singer in a band called Anne Berlin, had heard our demos that we had sent to Tooth and Nail and really liked the band, and was pestering Chad Johnson, the A&R director at Tooth and Nail Records, to give us a listen. And I think at the time Chad was like, this is just too nutty. It's too all over the place, too chaotic, too crazy. Steven dragged Chad out to see us play at Cornerstone Festival in Illinois.
We would play these festivals and try and just bribe people to see us play. Eventually it worked. People started showing up. By the time that we actually talked to the label, Tooth and Nail, we had like a huge show just based on us just begging people to come see us. We had like the perfect setup for a label to come see us play because it looked like we were way bigger than we were, you know what I'm saying?
Chad really liked it, and it took about a year to work out a contract. It went from not being signed and still working on things to, in a week, signed, flying out to California to record the album, coming back, and then going to New York to shoot a video and everything. So it all started to snowball pretty quickly. Thank you for all those gifts, that we even have equipment at all to play with, that we have a building, that people are showing up. That's the weirdest thing. And that we have so many friends coming to our aid and everything. Man, so many amazing things lined up to even make this happen. And that we even made a record 10 years ago. That's an incredible thing in and of itself. And even with all the minor hiccups, this thing could have been such a catastrophe, and so far it has not. So thank you. I just acknowledge that all that stuff is because of you and how kind and generous and gracious you are to even let jerks like us get to do something this fun. So thanks for already being here and hanging out with us. I think it would be fantastic if your presence would be palpable throughout the evening, and that people would have a great time. No one would get hurt, nothing would break, especially the rented things and the church's things. But that people would leave with an awareness that it was more than just a good time hanging out as well. And if we can be a part of that in any way directly, by talking to someone or just being friendly to someone, anything like that, let us know. Amen.
If he called me and asked me to play a different record, I probably wouldn't have been quite as quick to be like, yeah, I'll do it. But this record from like beginning to end was a lot of fun.
You kind of always say you have your entire life to write your first record and like 2 years to write your second one. And so we had already been progressively like working on songs and had probably 3/4 of the songs like ready to go. But I remember when we found out we were going to record, like we were literally popping out like a song a day for Nihilism.
When we found out that we were going to be able to record with Sylvia Mascio, had done like a couple of Tool records and worked with Johnny Cash and stuff, it was like you can go out there and record with her, but you have like a week. So I was writing like 1 or 2 songs a day, bring them to rehearsal, and then we would learn them.
It was crazy. Like, honestly, I think at that point, I never even been on a plane. I think flights got delayed. on the trip, so we like spent the night in the airport in Vegas. The tire blew out, so we like broke down on the way to like Lee, California. Finally made it out there to the studio, which was for all of us real crazy. That was our first time we actually worked with like a real producer. It was awesome. One thing we loved about it is that she got what we wanted to do.
When we got there, we had 3 weeks, which for us was, I mean, you may as well have given us a year, because all of our other recording processes were like, you have Friday afternoon and Saturday, and then you're done. We just were constantly like, everybody, all hands on deck, like moving drums into different rooms and setting up mics and playing guitar out in the street. I mean, just all kinds of crazy things, but it was just like boom, 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 trying to get it done. And we recorded the whole record in, 17 days. So the whole record, although we had written a lot of it, there was also a lot of it that came together kind of quickly, which was actually, I think, part of what made it so fun and natural and very showbread.
We had been in the studio lots of times before. We didn't know how to articulate what it was that we were looking for. We only knew how to compare what we liked or what we hoped for to other albums that existed. Refused, The Shape of Punk to Come is like our album, but we didn't actually want it to sound like that album. We liked the spirit of the album, or we liked kind of the energy of the album. We didn't know how to talk about tones and about levels and the production. When Sylvia, she understood what it was that we were saying and knew, like, oh, you're not looking to emulate the sound of this guitar, you're looking for this type of expressive riff or something like that.
And like I said, we were writing all these other songs. So the first day in the studio, she set us up on stage to kind of get some levels, and she's like, just play through a few songs. And so we played a song, and she's like, was that on the demo? And we're like, no, that's a new one. She's like, play another one. Okay. So we started playing another song. She's like, where did these songs come from? And I was like, we all kind of like, what? We're just writing new songs. And so anyway, what was cool is that as we started playing more and more songs, she got really, really excited. She did this thing, so we were pretty much all screaming, and between Josh and Ivory, and like the first or second day we had played Mouth Like a Magazine, which we knew was like kind of catchy, but it was also all screaming. She's like, well, why don't we try this thing where they're screaming, but Josh also kind of does this singy scream thing. And she did that, and it really changed the course of the record because we did it on a lot of the songs.
She tends to be like, gravitates towards weirder things, more experimental things where you can try stuff you wouldn't normally try. I think for her it was like kid in a candy store, like, oh my gosh, we can do all kinds of crazy stuff on this album.
At one point I was like on the sidewalk in front of the studio, like cars driving by like on the sidewalk playing the drums, and she's like yelling at me through headphones from inside. And I don't know, it worked out. I don't know how.
The idea of experimenting was so freeing to us, and it was Sylvia and that studio and Rich, it was just the perfect place for us to be, because the idea of adding stuff in post and the mix was not on the table. We'd do everything right here in the studio at the board to make it sound exactly like we want. And that's exactly what we needed. So she would do all these random experiments. Some stuff didn't make it, but it helped us to think about how to do things differently. And
she was great about going, this is the band, this is their sound, but let's just try this thing to kind of help supplement just suggestions that really, I think, changed the course of the record, but ultimately, I think, made it a better record.
10 years later, finally get the chance to see my favorite band live. I love Showbread from the deep depths of my deep, deep heart. In Jesus' name, amen.
I actually ordered the shirt online before I even saw them live. That's how old this thing is. So, Minneapolis, Pennsylvania.
And how'd you guys get here?
Drove.
More than 2 days.
We're on our honeymoon right now, and we specifically planned to come here from like the second the tickets, went on sale.
And he was like, "Are we still in Portland on the 9th?" And I was like, "Yes."
And I was like, click, and then I bought the tickets. But I love Showbread because they're just really weird, and they made really creditable music for people that love Jesus and didn't fit in. And I think that's the best thing that they can do. Because it was like in Montana, it's either Stephen Curtis Chapman or Showbread. And so at the Christian bookstore, I didn't like that, so it was awesome to check out Showbread. Stabbing Art to Death is amazing, and that should be played in churches. So Yeah, it's all about Jesus.
Los Angeles.
Did you drive up or fly?
Yes. 16-hour drive with a 7-month-old in the back seat. With my 7-month-old in the car seat crying.
We were actually at JG's last show, and we were at Ivory's last show. So it'd be nice to see him again. Every second of that album stuck with me. It's an amazing album.
My first Showbread show. Well, it's a 15-hour drive, so we stopped in like Reading or something like that, and we just camped here. Mathis replaces Judas. Oh, cry! Like it's the energy, you know.
As soon as I started listening to it, I don't know. It just always helped my walk with God. We're stabbing art to death. I'm getting my tattoo of that pretty soon, right here.
But really, they were the first band that I got into when I got saved, and I found out that Christian music didn't suck, and that you could be weird, and they changed my life. And the Smokers and the Children should be cast down. That's hands down favorite song on the album.
Their message stuck with me. The music to me was beautiful. Then their message started to change kind of how I was thinking what Christianity is supposed to be. A couple of 4 years ago, I got the logo stuck on my leg, and I was stuck. You can be a certain way, and you can live a certain lifestyle, and you can have tattoos and piercings and stuff, and scream, and you can still love Jesus with all your heart. And then up till then, I went to a very conservative church, so that was never revealed to me. So to be able to see that, you can feel how serious they are about it, how much they believe it, and it emotionally hits me, that energy and that passion, especially with the original members. That's going to be incredible, and I'm so excited.
I remember a friend of mine emailed me the link to Mouth Like a Magazine. I either have to love it or hate it in that moment, and my life changed right then because I decided to just love punk music because of that video. Their music and this album specifically, and the Mouth Like a Magazine, that sort of initiated my jettisoning into punk music and into the bands that I play in now and the songs and stuff that I write now. God pretty much used them as the #1 thing to make me make art today.
I mean, I'm sure all the kids, knew Christian bands were out there, but I liked standing for something, I guess, and not just going up there and playing. I loved hanging out with the kids after the show in the venues and stuff and just hanging out, and that was awesome. And I mean, we had quite a few times to witness and share how we feel and talk with people. And at the moment, it was very powerful, and I don't know in the long run, obviously things with people change, but I like to think that maybe that stuck in their lives somehow along the way.
A llama eats a giraffe. Boom, right out of the gate.
This is probably one of my top 3 favorite songs to play live, always has been. Lyrically, it's been one that's just been true the whole time, very true to everything we've done.
So the idea was to compare and contrast nihilism as a philosophical discipline with the way of Jesus.
That's probably the song I can get most aggressive to while I play.
Playing it live is what made it become my favorite.
The right way to start a record,
No less than that.
Dead by Dawn. It's not controversial. It's a movie. You know, it's just a song about a movie.
Right away, there were people who, like you were saying, people that picked up on that and appreciated that element of. But right away, also there was a tremendous amount of backlash that Christian bookstores banned the record for a brief period. It's just a song about the trilogy of movies that we appreciate.
People are gonna be upset about anything and everything you do.
It's a little bit frustrating, but you try not to like let that show, you know what I mean? Just be straight up with people like, hey, we like movies.
Lyrically, it's very clever. Like, I remember reading through the lyrics the first time thinking, that's clever. Hail to the king, baby. I mean, that's the thing. It's got Hail to the king, baby. Mouth Like a Magazine, that sold us a lot of records.
It was about Marvin's girlfriend at the time, who became later in life a close friend of mine, and she knows that the song is about her and thinks that it's amusing now. But I was very frustrated with her, and I wrote this really kind of rude satire about her that became Mouth Like a Magazine. But the song also, I think, becomes about the idea of gossip and entitlement in general, And you know, now when we play that song, I never think about the young lady it was written about.
We played in the garage like the first time. You know, the drum beat comes in and that little lick. Everybody's kind of like, yeah, that's really catchy. Let's play that one.
I hated it when we practiced it the first time. I really only play power chords anyway, and so I felt like, what am I gonna do during these verses, you know? And then all of a sudden it just clicks, and you're like, okay, I was wrong.
The demo didn't have Mouth Like a Magazine on it. And then that was like one of the first songs, because Sylvia, like, you know, really caught a vision for it and made it like the first song we ended up finishing and recording, and she sent it on to Tooth and Nail. And it was fun because I got a call from Chad Johnson, our A&R guy, like 2 hours later. And he was like, listen, man, we all sat around and listened to the first demo, and our jaws just hit the ground, man. It was like awesome. Do you guys have anything more like that?
Kind of got like a little bit old, like playing it all the time. Like even like my mom, you know, she doesn't listen to anything close to this type of music. She actually like liked, you know, I feel like that's like the one song that she liked.
That video was in a movie, like a Lindsay Lohan movie. I can't even remember what the name of it was. Probably our most famous song, most popular.
Turn
You Like Me, Check Yes, If You Don't I'll Die is the next song on the album. And that I wrote about a young lady that I was dating at the time. Less directly about her and more about the idea of high school relationships in general and sort of like insecurities and uncertainties and immaturity, things like that. It's less of a serious, emotional type of thing and more like I thought it was kind of funny to pick on those relationships, having been in a very silly one myself.
Every time I hear that song, I just think about like just being a kid and like dating somebody and just thinking that you're in like love and you really don't know what love is for the most part. So
that might be the first one we wrote for Nihilism. I remember we were working on that before we started doing everything else, and it set the pace for the chaos because that's a very chaotic song.
I remember we used the tambourine, like in the recording. It was like, yeah, tambourine.
That bridge part, rehearsing it turned into like surf rock, and we had to just stick with it for a few days, and eventually it turned into this other thing, and then it turned into something that was like, man, this is a great live song.
Samsa Meets Kafka, which actually is about the Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. It's my favorite novel. I intentionally spelled the protagonist's name differently. In the novel, his name is Samsa with no P. I put a P in there because my actual last name starts with P, and I thought it would be kind of interesting if it were deliberately off a little bit, and people would be like, oh, what's that all about? But it was so obscure a reference, no one would ever know why. But in the end, people just thought that I misspelled the protagonist's name, so I probably wouldn't have done that again. That was just because I thought it would be cool to have an industrial song on the record out of nowhere.
This one was fun because it's so short, but it's so like, oh yeah, that was a fun little Chaos song. Ah, you know, where did this song come from?
And they kind of did that in the studio on a whim. We had a drum machine that we didn't know how to work, and Josh and JG fidgeted around with it until they got it to make it where it made sense.
I didn't hear anything about that until we were in the studio, and I was like, what the heck is going on? Okay, it was just another bit of obscurity to help push it, push the whole record, you know?
That was all Josh.
So Selfish It's Funny was actually written about myself indirectly. I was actually started writing the song about another gentleman that I knew, and it was kind of a scathing critique of his behavior. And I felt quite convicted about 3 lines into the song, like I was actually describing myself. You know, we tend to notice and become bothered by our own flaws when we see them in other person because they're so recognizable. So I finished the song writing a critique of my own behavior, and I found it rather depressing. So the end of the song, it has like a little lilt toward hopefulness, and the narrator of the song actually goes from picking on someone else and redirects the critique backward at themselves.
Oh, and we got an argument with the record label about this song.
The label got Mouth Like a Magazine, they really liked it, and then all of a sudden they kind of were like, let's just see if there's some other things on here to do with this record. And they really liked So Selfish, but they didn't really like the turn in it.
The beginning is a little bit vehement, you know, it's almost like talking about this person, it's like, oh, you're so selfish, it's funny, it's like, ugh, you know, this disgust. Oh wait, I'm actually the problem. I'm the one that this song is talking about.
The label originally wanted us to cut that ending off of the song, because it is actually a weird ending just tagged on to an otherwise self-sufficient bit of music.
We kind of thought about it, honestly. We thought, well, yeah, let's see what the song would be like without the ending, but it was only like the faintest thought, you know. It was like, no, that's not who we want to be as a band. And I remember that being a point where I was like, cool, we're gonna do what we feel like we need to do, and if the other stuff happens, it happens, you know what I'm saying?
When we said that's not the point of the song, we want the ending. And then at the end, Chad Johnson was our guy, and he said, it was good, you kept the ending, that's right call. So we got it. We followed the label, and we won.
But you love your
The Missing Wife is just an imaginary sort of fiction about someone who has lost a spouse, and in the song they're dealing with a sort of void that in their minds cannot be filled and will not be filled.
I think it's a real good love song. You can also relate it to like your relationship with whoever like you're with. So
since it was fictional at the time, I didn't even have a wife, let alone a wife that I had lost. It didn't resonate all that much emotionally with me, other than, you know, it was kind of, I liked the way that it turned out. But I met a lot of people through the years that had lost, not necessarily a spouse, but just someone in general. A couple I remember meeting that had lost a baby, and the song had taken on this profound resonance with them because of that. So it's interesting, the things that you come up with and don't even really seem like anything, and then all of a sudden someone finds it and makes it about something.
You know, the record itself, starts with a phone conversation, ends with a dial tone, and in the middle it's almost like it just needs a pause. It just needs a little bit of a breather.
Should you hurt yourself or simply sleep, I shall collect myself after I weep, and guard myself in ocean blue, with no method of goodbye for you. Should the marsh river agree to cry, or should the sea suspend its ghost to fly? I'll lend myself unto their wings and hear the voice of Jesus sing. No wish for she whose wounds he does soothe, no wish to sleep forevermore. No eyeshadow as thick as paint, no pigment bleeds into the face. Forgiveness, like a blanket of snow, whispers like the wind does blow, beckoning unto the meek, offering out unto the meek. Jesus' hands, resting there beside the Lamb. There will not be a circular piece to drive into a square-shaped key. No hands to hold within my own, no second soul inside our home. Beside the crystal sea, myself for my love and my love for me.
Thank you.
Welcome to Plainfield, Toby Hooper.
That, not unlike A Llama Eats a Giraffe, was meant to be exploration of how a follower of Jesus deals with the arts when the arts are not pleasant. The title is a reference to Plainfield, which is where the serial killer Ed Gein did his horrific dirty work. And Toby Hooper is the director of the 1974 film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So Toby Hooper loosely based Leatherface on Ed Gein. So the idea was someone like Toby Hooper dealing with the reality of the fiction that he created.
This is one of my favorite songs to play live because the chorus was super fun. And also this one was really confusing when we were writing it. It didn't make any sense. We couldn't put it together right because it was mixed up when we started writing it. And then I think me and Mike had the idea to switch parts around, and then we got it.
This is like a quintessential like raw rock song. And again, I think it's a really clever song. We'd always get in trouble for stuff like this, but it's very metaphorical and again tells kind of a story.
We always loved when that one would come up on sets. It's one of the most rock type songs on the record, so.
And the smokers and children shall be cast down. was actually lyrics that I had written significantly prior to the writing of the music or the record. And it was at a time when two gentlemen who had been in a previous iteration of the band had been excused from the band, and the emotional fallout from that. One of them was asked to leave the band just because they were at a place in their maturity that didn't seem consistent with the other gentlemen in the band. It was just kind of like, you're acting like a child and we feel like we are not. And another gentleman was asked to leave the band because he smoked cigarettes. And Showbread's always been kind of like a straight edge thing. And we were still really young when this happened. We had a guy that we had kicked out for being immature, a guy that we had kicked out for smoking cigarettes. Sounds really funny now. And it was just a weird thing for me to process as a follower of Jesus when you have these guys who seem like they had the same calling that we like to say, or the same passion and drive, and were otherwise pretty lined up with the vision of the band, but there were these obstacles that we couldn't seem to get past. And we since reconciled with those gentlemen, and some of them were in the band again later, so that became no big deal. But the smokers and children shall be cast down was kind of like processing those issues.
I always wanted to play in the Smokers and Children Will Be Cast Down because we would never do it. And every time we would do it, I feel like we always had this kind of ongoing argument where it's like, listen, kids are like screaming for it. Some people would be like, no man, they don't like it. It's not a good song to play live. And
some songs are really good to play live, and they sometimes can be even better than the recorded version, and some songs just don't work as well live in all situations. The Smokers never really worked that well live. But Matt Davis always wanted to play Smokers live. He always fought for it. We always shot him down because it just didn't work.
Ooh, you know what? Earlier when I said Llama was my favorite song, I think Smokers is actually my favorite song. I'm playing the keyboard part at the beginning and then the whole band comes in. I just feel like it hits so hard. I love it.
Sing with me, child, as my ears are bleeding. Dreams that we had now seem so fleeting. Still your cradle with no effort sways, where this monochromatic record is
Stabbing Art to Death actually appeared on our independent record, Life Kisses and Other Wasted Efforts. And we liked it so much, it was the last song written for that record. We felt like that was the kind of fork in the road of where we headed musically. We decided early on that that would be the only existing song that we piggybacked onto the new album.
Kind of thought, like, we don't feel like it got its fair shake. We think it needs another go.
The way a lot of the lyrics on Nihilism became this stream of consciousness, sort of just ideas, free-flowing and vocabulary and things like that. And some of those ended up wrapping several different concepts and ideas that weren't related at all into one song, just because there was a thematic consistency in the way that the words were kind of jibed together. Part of the song is about being in a band and the way that a follower of Jesus deals with the arts and pretense and ego and things like that. Then there's these other elements about hypocrisy and the church, and there's this little bit about romance. And
it was a lot longer. It's long now, it was even longer then. It stays true to the vision of the band, the whole sound of it and the lyrics and everything.
It's funny how, I like the way that people interpret things after the fact, and they make their own connections about how in the world those things are all one consistent idea, when in reality they aren't. But hey, if it is to you.
That was always a really fun song to end on, because the end is just like 4 counts over and over again. And you could just drag it out forever. And there was a couple of shows we did, like, we just keep doing it, and people would be like, okay, song's over, and we just like do it again.
So kind of a quintessential like raw rock song. It's just all over the place, but somehow is also cohesive.
So just cover up your face. prince of sounds that make ears ring. My princess kiss me with sweet lips, and oh, my heart will sing. If art is in yourself, or in a class at school, if art is ego and selfishness and the mercy of primitive tools, and bear this tight in your heart. No pain, no pulse, will let you live on. We've seen the last of art. Goodbye, inscriptions, and bear this knife in your heart. No pain, no pulse, will let you live on. See the last of art. Service, what's the pain? We got out of time to die. Sacrifice the love you're bringing. Service, what's your pain? We got out of time to die. Sacrifice the love you're bringing.
The Dissonance of Discontent, like several songs on that album, was about the band's philosophical manifesto as it pertains to being in a band that is kind of characterized by a punk rock spirit of we're going to pursue our own artistic vision, you know, stick it to the man. In this case, the man is the music industry or the audience or something like that.
Talking about us, like Raw Rock as a whole. So just kind of describing like what Raw Rock is to us.
Raw Rock is embarrassingly insignificant in that Ivory would, for a while, was going through a phase where he used no synonyms for good or nice or quality. Just everything that was positive was raw.
Today I ain't getting raw today, but soon you'll be hearing me getting raw. Peace.
Someone asked him in Walmart what type of music we play, and he's like, it's like rock music, it's like raw rock music.
It didn't really mean much of anything. The whole point of it was more like we're a raw rock band, and then it became a thing where people would, like other younger bands or bands, they would be like, yeah, we're kind of like a raw rock band, and we would straight up tell them like, no, actually you're not, because we invented raw rock and we're actually the only ones that can play raw rock. So, I mean, it was a good shot, but you're not a raw rock band. And so it just kind of became this thing, you know, with the music note, and it created like an entity, like, oh, it's raw rock, and it's not music, it's not a thing, it's just raw rock.
There's like thunder hitting at the end, and when we were recording it, we had like this big sheet that you would hit it, and it would make a thunder sound. And the first time we did it, it hit perfectly on the hit.
Whoa!
Stars aligned, and it just like hit it right on, and it was perfect.
One of the first songs we were just singing about how great we think we are.
We
Matthias replaces Judas, which is obviously the worship ballad on the album. And the only reason that we wrote that song was because we wanted Reese Roper of Five Iron Frenzy to sing on the record. At the time, his band, Brave Saint Saturn, was signed to Tooth and Nail Records, and we asked our A&R guy if he could get us Reese Roper's contact. Several of us had grown up listening to Five Iron, we're huge Five Iron fans.
And again, it was just the Lord, because originally we were going to record our Nihilism in Nashville, and we knew Reese was in Denver, but as it turned out, we recorded in Northern California, and he was recording Roper, his solo record, in San Francisco. And so we were like, well, we'll pay for you to rent a car, because we were going to fly him out to Nashville, but then it turned out we were close. So we were like, well, at least let us rent you a car. And he's like, okay, cool, no problem. And then he called me. He was on his way to Weed, California, where we were recording. He's like, oh no, I just borrowed my producer's car, and just pay me some gas and like a little wear and tear on his car. So he came out and sang it for nothing.
He never met us before, out of kindness of his heart. He's a good dude.
We were just trying to think about sticking him in a song like Stabbing Art to Death, which we eventually did. But we wanted him to have a whole platform to sing most of, or at least half of a song. So we wrote a song influenced by his type of music that are those more like emotional ballads that crescendo into a big finish.
I can't believe he's singing on our record. And then we were all cowered because he'd do these things where his voice would go like crazy high and like awesome, and we were all like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, so cool. You know, trying to not make a big deal of it. And he kept going like, is that okay? And we'd be like, yeah, could we do it one more time? And and he'd be like, sure, no problem. We were like, yes. You know, it just like little kids in a candy store.
So weak and so unworthy, they simply will not do. No alabaster jar, no diamond in the rough, for your body that was broken. How can this be enough? By me you were abandoned, by me you were betrayed. Yet in your arms and in your heart forever I have stayed. Your glory
Yeah. Just be blatant about what we believe and what we're overall about, and hearing it on the record in the middle of recording, when the pieces are there and people are adding Mellotron and all kinds of stuff to it. It did what it was supposed to do. You can finally hear the vision of it anyway.
That song had a resonance with an amount of people that I had not anticipated. We have only ever played it live 3 times, twice without Reese and once with Reese. And the third time we ever played it was just last night at this show. It makes a moment in time when you try to play it live.
It is so that my transgressions, born a withered fruit, sun has scorched the rising plants, alas they have no root. Bleached bones of animals, bound by leather strips, dance through the air with laughter as I wield this wicked whip. As you did warn me, carpenter, this world is weak in my heart. So easily I disparage, self-seeking the work of my art. And there you've come to me at the moment I bathe in my sorrow. So in love with myself, sought after, avoiding tomorrow. But do you find the love to offer, he who betrays you? And offer to wash my feet as I offer to disobey you. Your beauty does bereave me, how my words do fail. Faithfully and dutifully I award you with betrayal.
The Bell Jar is the last song on the album, and it is the last in a long line of songs about the band's philosophical approach to art and music and things like that. I think that was the last song that we wrote for the record, and we rewrote it to have an ending song. The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath is one of my favorite novels. The metaphor of a bell jar, which is, you know, the glass dome that you lower over a cake or some food item, and often the glass is made to be sort of warped or fogged, frosted. And in the novel, she compares insanity or mental illness with a bell jar that was lowered over her head at certain periods in her life and affected everything. And the novel, spoiler alert, the novel ends with this poignant bit about the fear of the bell jar descending again on her head. The way of Jesus to me is almost like a deliberate insanity, and how counterintuitive and countercultural it is. And so in the Bell Jar, the song, the bell jar is the way that we approach art and music and life in the way of Jesus and in just the way of creativity.
It's almost like Stab Art to Death Part 2. So it was cool that like Stab Art to Death is kind of in the middle-ish, and then it ends on the bell jar. And again, it just kind of has this, it's one of those quintessential raw rock songs. It's got like a cool riff, it's got like a chorus, it's got a slow, prettier part, and it ends with this big like rockin' like ending.
It's just like the overall Showbread statement of the record. This is what you listen to, this is what we're trying to be about, and there you go, you know?
Where Llama is the perfect beginning, I think Bell Jar is the perfect ending.
Because let's
I thought the show was very true to the spirit of the record and a lot of the shows that lineup has played in the past. Me and Patrick always talk about how that lineup was probably more tight as a band and well rehearsed as a band than any other lineup, but it's only because the 7 of us rehearsed and toured together for so many years of the same set. When you only have one record, those are the songs that you play every single night over and over again. Orbiting that time, we tended to be a pretty sloppy in a fun and endearing way type of live act, at least in my opinion. And that was the kind of thing that we did last night. Minor technical difficulties, broken guitars, and mics getting unplugged because you jump out in the crowd and things like that. But that's definitely more entertaining and exciting than everything just running perfectly. So it was true to form 10 years later.
No matter how long it's been that we've been apart from each other, it's like from day one of everybody being here, it's just like immediately like back into that way of talking. You spend the better half of your life growing up or partially growing up, trying to learn how to grow up with somebody. And then, I don't know, it's just, it stays with you forever. It's not like something you're gonna forget.
7 guys in Josh and Patrick's parents' garage, like just writing a record.
Yeah, I was 21 when we recorded it. So, you know, we recorded an album and like actually like, you know, people, not like a lot of people, but people know that album and like that album. It's like, man, this was it just reminds like, this is a good record. And I just always think about like the good times we had like in the studio recording it and putting it together.
It was probably the most organic record in terms of Showbread. Nihilism kind of became the record that was like, we need to get back to that mentality. We need to get back to that mindset that we had when we wrote Nihilism.
Thank you for those of you that enjoyed it and those of you that purchased it and helped support us along the way.
There have been a ton of people come out of the woodwork to help us do this. And you can't thank people like that enough that kind of spend their own dime to come out here. Like all the people flying out from everywhere that we've stayed with, who've put us up over the years and put up with our crap of like eating all their food and dirtying all their dishes and like bumming around their house for a day or two. We can't thank those people enough, because without them, like, we would have tried to do what we did, but we probably wouldn't have been nearly as successful.
May Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.
May Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.
May Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.
May Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.
May Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.
And may Raw Rock kill you forever and ever. Amen.